Today, we delve into one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries, the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. What exactly happened to the settlers? Where did they vanish without a trace? And why do scientists and historians stay silent? Let's find out. On April 27, 1584, Raleigh dispatched an expedition led by Philip Amadas and Arthur Barlow to explore the eastern coast of North America. They arrived at Roanoke Island on July 4th and soon established relations with local tribes, Secotans, and Croatans. Barlow returned to England along with two Croatan men named Manteo and Wanchese, who described to Raleigh the politics and geography of the region. Based on this information, Raleigh sent a second expedition under Sir Richard Grenville's command. He was ordered to further investigate the area and return to England with a report on the success of the operation. Grenville's fleet set sail from Plymouth on April 9, 1585. It consisted of 5 ships: Tiger, Grenville's ship, Buck, Red Lion, Elizabeth, and Dorothy. Off the Portuguese coast, the fleet encountered a storm that separated Tiger from the other vessels. In case of such separation, captains had prepared a contingency plan according to which they were supposed to meet in Puerto Rico. On May 11th, Tiger reached Mosquito Bay. While waiting for the remaining ships, Grenville established relations with residents of Spanish colonies in America. Additionally, he built a fort. The Elizabeth arrived shortly after its completion. Eventually, Grenville did not wait for the rest of the ships and departed on June 7th. The fort became abandoned, and its location remained unknown. On June 26th, the Tiger sailed through Ocracoke Inlet, but ran aground and lost much of its food supplies. After repairs in early July, the Tiger met up with Buck and Dorothy, which had arrived earlier in the waters off the Outer Banks, together with the Red Lion several weeks before. However, the Red Lion disembarked its passengers, and its crew headed to Newfoundland to engage in privateering activities. July 29, 1585, an English expedition arrived on American shores. Following initial reconnaissance of the mainland coastline and nearby native settlements, the English accused Aquascogoc villagers of stealing a silver cup. As punishment, the village was destroyed, including the chieftain. This incident is also documented by Richard Hakluyt, whose reports are based on accounts provided by various financiers, notably Walter Raleigh himself. Hakluyt never personally visited the New World. Despite these events and food shortages, Grenville decided to leave Ralph Lane and 107 men behind to establish an English colony on the northern tip of Roanoke Island, promising to return in April 1586 with reinforcements and fresh supplies. Under Lane's leadership, settlers landed on August 17, 1585, constructing a small fort on the island. No images of it exist today, though it likely resembled one previously built in Mosquito Bay. By April 1586, Lane organized an expedition to explore the Roanoke River and possibly search for the legendary Fountain of Youth. Tensions escalated so severely with neighboring tribes that native warriors attacked Lane's party. In retaliation, colonists assaulted their central village, killing Chief Wingina. Meanwhile, as promised, Grenville failed to arrive by April. Facing starvation and Indian attacks, the struggling settlement found relief when Sir Francis Drake's returning Caribbean expedition passed near Roanoke in June. Seeing an opportunity, many colonists, including metallurgist Joachim Gans, accepted Drake's offer to sail back to England. These settlers introduced tobacco, sweet corn, and potatoes to Europe upon arrival. 2 weeks later, Grenville's supply fleet finally arrived only to find the abandoned colony. Unwilling to risk another failure, Grenville left just 15 men on Roanoke to maintain English presence and safeguard Raleigh's claims over the territory. In 1587, Raleigh dispatched a second group tasked with settling Chesapeake Bay. Led by John White, a painter and friend of Raleigh, the team included 155 individuals. Their mission entailed locating the 15 men previously stationed in Roanoke. Upon arriving there on July 22nd, however, no trace of them could be found except human remains, bones. A single tribe still friendly towards the English, the CROATOANs residing on modern-day Hatteras Island, reported that the men had been attacked, but 9 survived, escaping to their shore in a boat. Fleet Commander Simon Fernandez refused to allow the new colonists to board his ships again, instead ordering them to settle on Roanoke Island itself. White renewed ties with the CROATOAN tribe, yet those tribes insulted during Lane's reign avoided meeting the newcomers altogether. Soon afterward, settler George Howe was killed while alone crab hunting in Albemarle Sound. Knowing what transpired during Lane's tenure, fearful colonists persuaded Governor White to return to England to explain conditions and seek aid. Departing for England, White left behind 115 men and women, plus his newborn granddaughter Virginia Dare, the first child born to English parents in America. Crossing the Atlantic late in the year posed significant risks. Relief efforts faced delays due to winter reluctance among captains. Shortly thereafter, England engaged Spain's invincible armada in the Anglo-Spanish War. Every available vessel joined battle, preventing White's return to Roanoke. By spring 1588, White secured passage aboard 2 smaller ships bound for Roanoke. His plans were thwarted when captains attempted to capture some outbound Spanish vessels for profit. Captured themselves, their cargo seized, White returned empty-handed to England. Consequently, due to war with Spain, he would remain unable to reach the colony for 3 more years. Finally, securing passage on a privateer ship en route from the Caribbean, he requested a stopover at Roanoke. Arriving on August 18, 1590, 3 years since his granddaughter's birth, White discovered the settlement deserted. Organized searches yielded nothing beyond roughly 90 men, 17 women, and 11 children vanished without signs of struggle or conflict. The sole clue lay in letters carved into trees near the fort, CRO, followed by the word CROATOAN, etched onto the palisade surrounding the village. 2 buried skeletons were also uncovered. All buildings and defenses appeared dismantled systematically, indicating no hasty departure. Before leaving, White stipulated if anything befell them, they should carve a Maltese cross, symbolizing forced evacuation. None existed here, leading him to believe they relocated deeper within CROATOAN Island. Further exploration seemed unfeasible, given impending storms and mutinous crew members refusing further travel. Leaving the next day, the mystery of the Lost Colony endures. It took 12 long years before Raleigh decided to uncover the fate of his lost colony. In 1602, he launched an expedition led by Samuel Mace. Unlike previous ventures, Raleigh purchased his own ship and guaranteed wages for the crew to prevent distractions like privateering. Nonetheless, Raleigh intended to benefit financially from this endeavor. Mace's ship docked in the Outer Banks to gather aromatic wood and plants, such as sassafras, profitable for sale in England. When attention refocused on Roanoke, deteriorating weather forced the expedition to retreat to England without reaching the island. Subsequently, Raleigh was arrested for treason, precluding any future expeditions. Spain, too, harbored interest in discovering the colony. Aware of Raleigh's intentions to use Roanoke as a base for piracy against them, they hoped to destroy it. Misleading intelligence suggested the colony thrived far beyond reality. In 1590, Spaniards stumbled across remnants of the colony by chance, but believed its main portion lay in the Chesapeake Bay region, where John White originally aimed to settle. Despite this knowledge, insufficient public support prevented Spanish authorities from embarking on such an ambitious venture. Hypotheses about the disappearance of the colony. Main hypotheses. Hypothesis 1. Transition to other settlements. One of the most widespread versions states that the colonists might have voluntarily abandoned the island and moved to live among friendly Native American tribes. It's possible they sought better living conditions and chose to assimilate within local communities. This theory is supported by certain clues left behind by the colonists, including engraved words like CROATOAN and CRO on trees and fort gates, which could indicate their direction of travel. Hypothesis 2. Attack by local tribes. An alternative version posits that the colonists were annihilated by hostile native tribes. Conflicts between European settlers and indigenous populations were frequent at that time. Nonetheless, the absence of mass burial sites or signs of violent conflict weakens this argument. Hypothesis 3. Return to England. Some scholars argue that the colonists may have returned to England on their own initiative. This could have happened because of dissatisfaction with living conditions in the New World or a longing to return home. Yet there exists no documented evidence supporting this claim thus far. Hypothesis 4. Shipwreck. A further hypothesis proposes that a ship bound for relief was lost at sea, leading to the demise of the colonists who tried reaching it. While this scenario accounts for the sudden disappearance of large numbers simultaneously, concrete evidence pointing to a shipwreck close to Roanoke Island remains elusive. Final hypothesis 5. Natural causes. Yet another plausible explanation involves mass illness or starvation. If the colonists had succumbed to epidemics or severe food shortages, it would explain why everyone perished. But again, this idea encounters difficulties given the lack of physical remains or other tangible proofs indicating mass fatalities. Conclusion. In spite of extensive research efforts and diverse hypotheses, the ultimate fate of the Roanoke colony remains shrouded in mystery. The enigma captivates historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts alike around the globe. Every newly discovered artifact or revelation contributes additional layers to this narrative, though conclusive answers remain elusive. Investigations continue, holding out hope that someday we'll uncover more insights regarding these early European settlers' fates in America. Thank you for watching the video until the end. Please write in the comments which hypothesis you support, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. I'm already working on a video where we'll thoroughly examine each hypothesis based on facts and reliability. Thank you for watching. See you soon.